Tourbox offers several controllers that enhance creative workflows, especially for video editing. Last year, I received the Tourbox Lite as a Christmas gift, and after some hesitation, found it to be a valuable addition to my editing workflow. I even posted a review about my thoughts on this controller, which you can access at the link provided. While the Lite offered many features and was easy for beginners, I wanted to see if the Neo or Elite models would be a better fit for my professional editing workflow. Here's what I found out. I received the Lite as a gift from my family, and the other two were purchased by myself. I earn affiliate income from the purchase links provided below, but Tourbox had no input for this comparison. Let me first provide a quick breakdown of the features offered from these three Tourbox controllers that we will be comparing. As I mentioned, the Tourbox Lite is designed for those new to creative consoles. It offers essential control functionalities with a knob, scroll, and some buttons, all of which are fully customizable. It is the most budget-friendly option. The Tourbox Neo is designed for professionals, offering a more ergonomic design and expanded control options compared to the Lite. While retaining the Lite's core knob, scroll, and buttons, the Neo adds a D-pad, shuttle wheel, and some additional buttons. These additions significantly increase the number of assignable functions per preset, doubling the Lite's capacity. Beyond its enhanced customization, the Neo boasts a more robust build quality and feel. Like the Lite, the Neo utilizes wired USB connectivity and uses the same Tourbox console software. The Tourbox Elite is the premium model, aimed at advanced professionals and power users. It maintains the same number of controls as the Neo, but feels significantly heavier. The main difference between the Neo and Elite are two additional features: Bluetooth connectivity and haptic feedback for enhanced control. It's also important to note that the Lite and Neo versions are offered only in a black finish, while the Elite adds two new colors, ivory white and smoky translucent. I already like how the classic blends in with the other black peripherals on my desktop, so I stuck with that color for my Elite controller as well. Lastly, it's worth mentioning that there is a Tourbox Elite Plus version. The three controllers compared in this video are compatible with Windows and Mac OS, but the Elite Plus is also compatible with iPadOS, and it is the most expensive controller offered by Tourbox. Since I do not edit or work with an iPad, I did not purchase this controller and use it for this comparison. Let's first focus on the design and build quality of each controller. All three controllers are extremely well made, with a good weight and feel to them. The quality obviously improves at each new price point, but the Lite version is very well constructed despite being the most affordable model. The Lite is slightly smaller than the other two and has a more rounded design, while the Neo and Elite are virtually the same size and design. Initially in my review of the Lite version, I mentioned that its compact size did not fit well within my hand and was looking forward to testing the Neo and Elite models to see if the larger size made a difference. Now that I have spent some time with all three, I have found that the slightly larger size of the other two models does not make much of a difference. A very noticeable difference though in design occurs between the Lite and Neo versions. The Tourbox Lite has a simplified layout design with fewer controls than the Neo and Elite. It notably lacks the dedicated flat round wheel at the bottom left and the four D-pad style buttons. Before I bought the Neo and Elite models, I did not think these additional controls were that necessary, but they are now incredibly important in my workflow, especially when it comes to timeline navigation. The wheel allows me to more easily scrub through the footage, and the D-pad allows me to advance frame by frame or jump quickly through the timeline from one edit point to the other with ease. While the control layout of the Lite version is significantly different from the Neo and Elite models, the control layout between the Neo and Elite models are virtually the same. If you're like me, at this point you may be asking what differences are there between the Neo and Elite that justify the significant price markup between these two controllers. The two key differences that I found are the addition of Bluetooth connectivity and haptic feedback offered by the Elite. While the Lite and Neo versions can only connect to your computer via a USB-C cable, the Elite model can connect either via USB-C or Bluetooth. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Bluetooth peripherals and would prefer a basic cable connection for anything sitting on my desktop. I don't mind the cables and have very little patience when it comes to managing batteries, especially during an editing session. That said, I have traveled with the Tourbox Elite controller and paired it up with my MacBook Pro while I was on the road using Bluetooth. It worked perfectly and made it easy for me to get set up for work quickly at a coffee shop or in my Airbnb. But if I had a dedicated workstation and did not plan to work on trips, I don't think this feature would be worth it unless you cannot stand wires on your desktop. The other key feature that the Elite offers, the haptic feedback, really surprised me. Before I bought this controller, I read a couple of reviews trying to determine why other customers chose the Elite model over the Neo. I saw a couple of remarks about the Bluetooth, but an overwhelming amount of Elite purchasers mentioned how amazing the haptic feedback functionality was. While all three controllers boast excellent build quality, the firm action and lack of feedback in the physical buttons and dials are a key drawback. This can make tasks like adjusting exposure or audio levels challenging, as it's easy to overshoot your settings without careful monitoring. The haptic feedback feature significantly improves this aspect, offering a more immersive editing experience and finer control. The subtle vibrations from the built-in linear motor provide immediate physical confirmation of input when turning a dial or scrolling. Instead of relying solely on visual screen changes, the haptics provide a clear sense of increments, leading to more precise and intuitive adjustments. This creates a more direct connection between physical actions and digital results, allowing users to feel the changes they are making. Additionally, you are able to customize the intensity of the feedback within your TourBox software. You can choose between off, weak, and strong modes. The ability to set action-specific feedback allows you to adjust the intensity levels for different actions. Strong vibrations are great for precise, critical adjustments like frame-by-frame video editing or detailed color grading increments. Weak or more subtle vibrations are great for faster, broader adjustments like scrubbing through footage, adjusting volume, or rapidly zooming in and out of the timeline. And you can turn it off if you prefer to not have haptics on certain functions. This means the feedback is always relevant and helpful rather than being a generic vibration. Despite the differences between each TourBox controller, all three devices offer profound customizability through the TourBox console software. It allows users to easily map almost any button, dial, or scroll wheel to a multitude of tasks. You can simply press a button on the physical device to jump to its assignment in the software and then add a function. Beyond simple shortcuts, you can set up complex macros, custom mouse actions, and even create on-screen panels called tour menus that pop up with a list of your most frequently used tools or functions accessible via the TourBox and mouse. An on-screen heads-up display can even be enabled to show you the assign functions in real time, helping you learn the layout without constantly looking at the controller. This software can also detect which creative application you're currently using. It switches with ease between a slew of programs, automatically syncing up with the corresponding custom preset. TourBox provides a variety of default preset templates, offering a good starting point for new users. The TourBox Lite is by far the easiest controller to approach for beginners, with simpler workflows at a more affordable cost. The Lite's fewer buttons and dials mean there's less to learn initially. For users who might feel overwhelmed by too many options, it provides a more focused and less daunting starting point. If I had not known about the more advanced models, the Lite was sufficient for most of my editing needs, and in many ways, I'm glad I was introduced to this controller first. I could have easily felt overwhelmed if I had more options right out of the box. The Neo and Elite are recommended for more professional editing projects, offering a much larger control set. The Neo offers a great balance of performance and affordable price, while the Elite offers top-tier features with precise control. Looking at the features offered by each controller on the sales page and considering my limited budget as a freelancer, I had a hard time justifying the purchase of the more expensive Elite controller. It offered only 2 more features than the Neo, and I knew that one of them, the Bluetooth wireless connectivity, was not that important to me. With a much higher markup, I had a hard time considering buying the Elite just for the haptic feedback. But after using the Elite controller alongside the Neo these past few months, it is by far my favorite of the 3. The haptic feedback provided by the Elite controller is a key feature that makes this device work exactly the way I want it to. Yes, I can still achieve the same tasks on the Neo as I can on the Elite, but the responsiveness from the haptic feedback alone allows me to work much faster with more accuracy. If you are considering using a creative controller in your workflow, but not completely sold on the idea, I think the TourBox Lite is a great option that can accomplish a ton and increase your productivity on a limited budget. If you are looking for a more advanced controller that can accomplish more than what the Lite has to offer, I would recommend the Elite over the Neo. It is a bit more expensive, but the haptic feedback coupled with the additional controls is a game changer. I imagine that I will be tinkering with my presets on this controller for years to come. And I know it will take me some time to commit all the controls to muscle memory, but I am excited about all the future projects I will be cutting on this device. If you're interested in a more in-depth written review, feel free to click on the link provided in the description. And as always, feel free to subscribe and visit filmformat.com for more reviews and tutorials from yours truly. Thanks for watching.